Welcome back, Ghana 4. It is that time of the morning. My name, you know it, Benjamin Akakwe, and I'm going to be sharing with you my blunt thoughts. And I've titled it this morning, Blood, Gold, and Greed, the shocking fall of the Black Star of Africa. Blood, gold, and greed, the shocking fall of the Black Star of Africa. I'm sure you've deduced by now that I'm playing on the national flag of Ghana. This title was culled from one of the Ghanaians who recently demonstrated at the Ghana High Commission in the UK with a placard reading Blood, Gold, Greed. You know we say red, gold, green, right? Blood, gold, greed. In place of the colors red, gold, that is amber, and green in a play of words. But this morning, I want us to seriously reflect on the menace that is this scourge that is destroying all of us. Now, I have a special message for those who have been tooting and shouting ignorantly on the rooftops. We don't do galamsey in Accra. We don't do galamsey in Accra. True, we don't do galamsey in Accra. But solving the galamsey menace starts from the political will, guess where? In Accra. We also don't grow yam, cassava, plantain, etc., predominantly in Accra. But the consequences of galamsey are making all these products get contaminated at alarming levels with heavy metals, and they bring them to us from the rural areas. And get what? We are all eating them in Accra. This nonsense about galamsey is not done in Accra should stop now. What disgusting tosh. Kidney disease and all kinds of cancers have gone through the roof in terms of numbers. And you're here telling me we don't do galamsey in Accra. I'm sorry. Ghana's yam, which we've been exporting, is beginning to show significant concentrations of heavy metals. Your afase and your puna, those ones you are eating, they are showing traces of it. Ghana became a major yam exporter. What is that going to do to that market? What is it going to do to our economy? How about cassava, another major cash crop? It's only a matter of time. It makes it worse because the Chinese are now making gari. So we lose that small pet, you know what will happen. Now, on the latest Operation Halt, and I've heard some people touting, and I laughed. You're trying to catch wrongdoers, but you tell them ahead of time that you are coming on this day. You also let them know that you will hang around waiting for them for about 2 weeks, after which you will leave. That's a pretty smart way of tackling the problem, right? I can assure you, if this is how government means to fight this thing, we shall achieve zilch, zero, nothing. How different is this approach from the previous ones? How? And if you think I am being unnecessarily skeptical, let me remind you of just one of the many past incidents where the military itself was deployed, got compromised, and rather ended up protecting Chinese illegal miners. I want you to watch this video.
A young military officer drove into the compound in a Tundra vehicle.
Yes, sir. I will see a lot of people beat the same.
He started making some calls to his superiors.
I will do the staff sergeant, sir. We are here at this thing, Tontochrome. The hot duties, and there are some policemen and media be here.
Within the next 30 minutes, the whole place was crawling with over 30 angry, armed military men. Anger turned into heated verbal exchanges and near fisticuffs. A group of physically built men with known faces from the Delta Force group also joined them. The Chinese were released. Our news team was prevented from filming anything from this time onwards as they overpowered the task force and took over.
Please stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing.
Things got physical as the macho men assaulted my driver, forcibly took the keys to our vehicle and struggled with a camera technician for the camera. Under the watch of the military men, they broke our windscreen and side mirrors. owner of the site, Donald Ntua, ordered the military to delete all footages from our camera and our personal phones. But we managed to retrieve items from our formatted card. It took the intervention of the Ministry of Environment and the Military High Command to get us released. The Minister for Environment told our news team, quote, Heritage Imperial only has a prospecting license, and so...
Donald Ntua, we all know him. He's a stalwart in the MPP. Our people trying to expose the rot were taken into custody. And it took a call from the Military High Command before they were released. So if someone tells me, oh, the military is on site, I take it with a pinch of salt. We all know what has happened in the past. Only 59 mining leases were granted under the Mills Mahama administration. Under Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, over a whopping 1,500 plus have been granted in less than 8 years. The rot runs deep indeed. It's no surprise then that you hear statements like those from the Ghana Minerals Commission boss, Martin Aisi, that if mining licenses are not granted, people will do illegal mining. Such flimsy, mind-boggling excuses. But that brings me here as I quickly wrap. In fact, in 2016, the former Information Minister, Kojo Oponkroma, my good friend, but here, no friendship, no friends. He cited something from one newspaper article. It was a magazine, actually. I think the Economic Times, talking about the fact that in 2015 to 2016, the Ivorians had actually shut down 280 illegal mining sites. And he said in Ghana, it is Galamsey galore. How about today, sir? Kojo, how about today? And our very own president, also in 2016, June the 7th, was talking about mismanagement, corruption, and incompetence is why Ghana is where she is today in 2016. You know, you can clean 2016 and put 2024 here, and this same rhetoric will be true, Mr. President. Next slide. The effects beyond our borders. Dr. Juliet Ohiming in Tiamwa, a US-based licensed professional engineer who has contacts in Ghana and has been looking into some of these things. She's worried because she's consuming yam from the African markets there. She says yams and other food items being exported have been found to contain high levels of heavy metals. In the end, I interest in the end, they say, oh, so we do fufu de bia. What are you trying? Next slide. And oh, my favorite one from nowadays, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister saying, I drink water every day, tap water every day. Even this morning, that is October the 9th, I drank water from the tap. You should be clapping for the Lands and Natural Resources Minister. One of these days, we should find him and, look for tap water and put them in bottles and ensure that he drinks that the whole day. Just like that MP who went somewhere and they fetched Galamsey water and asked him to drink it. Of course, he didn't drink it. Next slide. I love some of these protests and some of the placards they've been carrying. This one particularly. In the UK, when they had that demonstration, caution, showboy hazard, silence on issues may cause severe irritation. Mr. President, you've been ridiculously silent on some of these issues. Now the water has boiled and it's overflowing. You now want to react? 1,000 on the Free Citizens protest, 1,000 policemen at protest, 0 policemen at Galamsey sites. True or not? And now this one, Ghana Water Limited, literally, yeah, very limited. And by the way, the polymers they are using are not taking away the heavy metals from your water. You should know that. So where we are headed, it's not one person's problem. It's not MPP problem. It's not NDC problem. It is our problem. So better wake up and let's resolve it. If we die, we may end up dying together. Next slide. Now, if you look at the licenses issued amidst these disputes, 13 small-scale mining licenses were issued just within a short period, recently. All in the Takwa district, expiring in 2029. Recently, 13. Even as we are talking about this, 13 of them have been given out. How do you explain this? But you can't explain it the same way you can't explain LI 2462 because it makes no sense. Next slide. Shall we go to the next slide? Now, mining license checks 2,250 licenses issued. That is 1988 to 2025, because like you saw from the last slide, it goes into the next year. Some of them go into next year. But let's look at the breakdown. Active licenses, 2,202. Licenses pending, 1. Suspended licenses, 18. Under review, 29 of them. But here's the shocker. Next slide. If you look at the trajectory, which will get me to that next slide, the trend of mining license issuance, just look at it. I don't need to go through the figures for the sake of time. But look at the trajectory. Between 1 and 5, 7 and 5, all the way to 2015. Just about 1, 1, 4, 3, 13, 3, 1, 11. Look at those numbers. Rarely getting into double digits. But then from 2017, 11, 2018, 22. And since that time, look at it. 2019, a spike from 22 to 111. In 2020, 824. It fell to 62, 239, 267, 614. And that is where we are. Already in 2025, one has been granted. Already from 2025. We are not there yet. But we started granting licenses. Next slide. Then, if you look at the period analysis, 1988 to 2008, the total number granted, 40. Walk with me. 40. 2009 to 2016, 59. An increment of 19. Put these together, 99. So let's say 100. 2017 to 2025, 2,151. Even 100, no, we 100 no free her. It is more than this. 1988 to 2016. So when people sit in their comfortable corners and want to talk tosh and think we don't understand the issues, or we don't see or know what is happening, it's heartbreaking. But like I keep saying, by my final slide, though, I've noticed the trend. The Daily Graphic, among others, have also been talking about it. I've used the Tema motorway stretch in a while, especially when evening is setting. This is the Tema motorway stretch not too long ago. All these street lights are gone. So when you're using the stretch now, it's very dark. And for those of you who sometimes ply that route, you know how dangerous it is. People come from the bushes sometimes. I know so many people who have been attacked, robbed. You don't even have street lights in TBB. And before help comes. What is happening? Sector Minister, no street lights on large stretches of the Tema motorway. And we are sitting down. It takes me to say it. And when you say it, then they say, oh, one bokiti. You can't see. This country, anyway, we can decide to do what we'll do with them, and if we like, we can throw them into the dustbin. It's our own problem. In the end, it will come back to bite all of us. My name is Benjamin Akapo. These are my blunt thoughts, served raw, hot, unedited, undiluted. Thank you for watching, and let's keep praying that God will make Ghana truly great and strong and give us leaders, not misleaders. Thank you for watching.